You know, sometimes women forget just how powerful they are. Let me tell you something. When a woman stops chasing and starts choosing, that's when her value just shoots through the roof. It's like she flips the whole script. See, men are hunters by nature, right? That's how we're wired. If everything comes too easy, we don't appreciate it. We don't value it. But when a woman knows who she is, knows what she's bringing to the table and stands firm in it, oh man, now she's playing the real game. Look, when you're out there chasing after a man blowing up his phone, waiting by the window for him to text back, planning your whole day around what he's doing, you're handing over your power. You're putting all the cards in his hand. And let me tell you, he's gonna play you like a game he already knows he's winning. Ain't no urgency, ain't no respect, ain't no admiration. But when you detach, when you decide you're not gonna sit around waiting on anybody to complete you, something magical happens. You start living. You start shining. And trust me when I say men notice that. A woman who chooses herself first is magnetic. You ever walk into a room and spot a woman who ain't even trying to get attention, but everybody's looking at her anyway? It's because she ain't desperate for validation. She ain't waiting for nobody to crown her queen. She already knows she's royalty. That's the energy that pulls men in like gravity. See, when you detach from the outcome, when you say, look, I'd love to build something with you, but if you're not the one, baby, I'll be just fine. Now you're dangerous in the best way. You're not operating from fear. You're not scared to lose him because you know you can never lose what's meant for you. And here's the thing. Men, deep down, they want a challenge, not drama. Don't get that twisted, but a challenge. They want a woman who knows her worth, who has standards, who ain't afraid to say, nah, this ain't enough for me. Because when a woman stands firm in her value, it forces a man to step his game up. It makes him want to earn a seat at her table. It triggers something inside him that says, I gotta be better if I want to keep her in my life. But when you're chasing, when you're trying too hard, when you're afraid to lose him, that's when he takes you for granted. That's when he stops putting in effort. That's when he starts looking around, thinking he can do whatever he wants because you ain't going nowhere. Detachment changes the whole dynamic. You stop asking, what can I do to keep him? And start asking, is he even good enough to be kept? You set the pace, you set the tone. And the right man, he'll recognize it, he'll respect it, he'll rise to meet it. And the wrong man, he'll fall away and you won't even lose sleep over it because you'll know you were the blessing all along. In the end, when a woman stops chasing and starts choosing, she doesn't just find love, she finds herself. And that's the kind of woman no man can resist. There's something about a woman who moves like a mystery. I'm telling you right now, detachment is what builds that mystery, and mystery is the fuel that keeps a man chasing. See, when a woman ain't putting all her business out there, when she's not showing every card she's holding in her hand, a man's mind goes wild. He starts wondering. He starts imagining. He starts chasing. It's human nature. We are drawn to what we can't fully figure out. That's the game a lot of women don't even realize they're playing. When you are detached, you give a man just enough to be interested, but not enough to think he's got it in the bag. When you're mysterious, you stay unpredictable. You're not always available. You're not texting back in 2 seconds. You're not showing up every time he snaps his fingers. And listen, that's not being rude. That's not playing games. That's you living your life. That's you moving on your time, not on his. And a man can't help but be drawn to that. Because when you make him wonder where you are, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with, you put yourself right at the center of his mind. Men don't value what's too easy. They value what they had to work to understand. They value what keeps them thinking even when you're not around. Now let me tell you something real. A woman who's too available, too open too soon, she becomes familiar too fast. And when you become familiar too fast, you lose your edge. Familiarity ain't sexy. Mystery is sexy. It's that feeling of, man, I know she likes me, but what's she really thinking? It's that wondering if he's really cracked the code yet. And guess what? He hasn't. And that's what keeps him trying. That's what makes him invest more time, more attention, more effort. A detached woman knows how to let a man miss her. She ain't worried about feeling every silence. She ain't afraid to let the phone sit on the nightstand and not blow up his inbox. She's not pacing the floor waiting for him to ask her out again. She's got plans, dreams, a life to live. And when she's out there living it, she becomes more attractive without even trying. Because a woman with her own world is irresistible to a man. He wants to be a part of it. He wants access to it. He wants to know what makes her light up, what keeps her smiling when he ain't even around. When you're detached, your energy says, you can come along for the ride, but I'm driving this car. And men, they notice that. They notice when you're not thirsty for their attention. They notice when you're not desperate for their love. They notice when you are whole with or without them. Oh, and it shakes them up in the best way. It makes them step differently when they approach you. It makes them think twice before they play games, because they know you're not the kind of woman who's afraid to walk away. When you keep a little mystery, when you live your life detached from needing anyone to validate you, you become unforgettable. You become the woman he brags about, the one he thinks about before he goes to sleep, the one he tells his boys, man, she different. And trust me, being different, being that woman he can't quite figure out, that's what keeps him hooked longer than anything else. At the end of the day, a woman who masters the art of detachment holds the secret to attraction without even opening her mouth. Let me tell you something straight up. Men respect women who have a life beyond them. That's the cold, hard truth. A woman who's got her own thing going on, her own dreams, her own plans, her own hustle. That's the kind of woman a man can't help but admire. See, when a woman makes a man the center of her whole world, when every move she makes revolves around him, it feels good at first. Sure it does. But after a while, it starts to suffocate him. It starts to feel like pressure. It starts to feel like a responsibility he didn't even sign up for. Men don't fall in love with pressure. They fall in love with freedom, with excitement, with a woman who's already living full before he even walked into the picture. When you have your own life, your own passion, your own thing that you're chasing, you're sending a strong message without ever saying a word. I don't need you to complete me. I want you here, but I don't need you here. And baby, there's a big difference between being wanted and being needed. Men don't want to be your oxygen. They want to be the cherry on top of your already beautiful life. If you're sitting around waiting on his text, checking his Instagram, canceling your girl's night just in case he calls, you're shrinking yourself down for a man who might not even be ready for all you have to offer. But when you stay busy, when you stay lit up by your own life, you become something rare. You become the woman he has to earn time with. Think about it. Everybody wants what's hard to get. Nobody values what's always available, always waiting, always putting itself second. Men respect the woman who says, hey, I got plans. I'll check my calendar and see if I can fit you in. They respect the woman who's not gonna drop her career, her dreams, or her friendships just because a man showed up. They respect the woman who's got her own thing so tight that he realizes he's gotta fit into her world, not expect her to rearrange everything for him. And don't get it twisted. Having a full life doesn't mean you're too busy for love. It means you're creating a foundation so strong that any man who wants a seat at your table better come correct. It means you're showing him, I'm already blessed, I'm already fulfilled. And if you want to be part of this, you gotta add to it, not take away from it. That's the energy men respect. That's the energy that makes a man want to be better. Not because you nag him, not because you push him, but because your very presence challenges him to rise higher. A woman with her own life makes a man want to be chosen, not chased. He wants to feel like he's earned her time, earned her attention, earned her trust. And when a man feels like he had to work for you, when he knows you're not just giving your heart away for free, he holds on to it tighter. He treasures it more. Because deep down, every man knows anything worth having never comes easy. So remember, a woman who stands strong on her own 2 feet, who builds her own life first, is a woman no man can help but respect. And that kind of respect lays the foundation for real love. Let's get one thing straight right now. Confidence is magnetic. It's the kind of thing you don't even have to announce. It walks in the room before you do. And when you're detached, when you know your worth deep down in your bones, you naturally carry yourself with a different kind of confidence that men can't ignore. You ain't out here begging for love. You ain't checking your phone every 5 minutes. You ain't worried about whether he's gonna call or whether he's gonna pick you. You know you're the prize. And because you know it, he starts to know it too. See, there's something powerful about a woman who knows she's enough all by herself. She ain't looking for a man to validate her. She's looking for a man who can match her energy, match her ambition, match her love without taking anything away from her. That kind of woman walks different, talks different. She ain't desperate. She ain't pressed. She ain't pressed. She's cool whether you stay or whether you go. And that right there, that's what drives a man wild. Because a lot of women out here don't realize the moment you start acting like you need him more than you need yourself, you hand over all your power. But when you're detached, when you're good either way, you glow different. You don't chase, you attract. Men can feel it without you even saying a word. It's in the way you smile without forcing it. It's in the way you laugh without worrying about impressing anybody. It's in the way you stay grounded no matter who walks in or out of your life. Confidence built on detachment says, I'm happy either way. I'm on love, but I don't need love to feel whole. And that's rare. That's special. That's the kind of woman a man will chase across mountains for. Here's the real secret. Men aren't used to that. They're used to women who throw themselves in too fast, who give too much too soon, who make them the center of their world after one good date. So when they meet a woman who's standing tall in her own power, who's smiling because her spirit is good, not because some man made her day, it hits different. It hits deep. They realize they're gonna have to show up different if they want to stand a chance with her. Confidence also sets a standard. When you carry yourself like a queen, you don't accept court jester behavior. You don't tolerate half effort. You don't settle for empty promises, and men pick up on that real quick. If he's serious, he's gonna step up. If he's not, he'll fall back. And you'll be good either way because you know what you bring to the table. You're not afraid to eat alone if the table's not good enough. That's real confidence. That's the kind that can't be faked, can't be forced, can't be copied. It's earned through self-respect and a deep belief that you deserve the best just by being who you are. At the end of the day, the confidence that grows out of detachment isn't about arrogance. It's about peace. It's about knowing that love is beautiful, but not necessary for your happiness. And when a man sees that, when he feels that realness, when you detach, when you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You start to teach men how to treat you. Let's be real for a second. A lot of women out here are putting up with way too much nonsense, way too much disrespect, way too many excuses. But when you detach, when you pull back and stop allowing certain behaviors, you make it clear that you won't tolerate being treated any less than you deserve. And I'm telling you, men notice that. They notice when a woman knows her worth. And when they see that, they either level up or they fall off. Either way, you win. The key is understanding that your worth isn't determined by how much attention a man gives you. Your value isn't tied to his calls, his texts, his actions. It's about your standards, your self-respect, and how you carry yourself when no one's watching. When you detach, you set the bar. You show him that your time, your energy, and your love are precious. and they're not up for grabs unless he's ready to meet you halfway. Now, a man will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. When you settle for less, you're telling him it's okay to offer you less. But when you make it clear that you're only accepting top-tier love, it gives you that ability to step back, evaluate the situation, and decide whether or not the man in your life is matching your vibe. And guess what? If he's not, you can walk away. You won't be afraid to walk away. You won't feel like you're losing anything, because when you detach, you stop tying your worth to someone else's actions. Men respect a woman who knows her standards and isn't afraid to stand by them. He might test you at first, but once he realizes you're not out here settling for less than what you deserve, he will adjust. Men are natural hunters, but they only pursue what they know they can't have. And when they know they can't have you, unless they show up right, they'll put in the work. They'll do more than just text. They'll call, they'll show up, they'll prove that they're worth your time. But here's the truth. This isn't about playing games. It's not about making him chase just for the sake of chasing. It's about teaching him that your love is earned, that it's a privilege, not a right. And that's something a lot of women don't understand. They think love is something to beg for, something to work hard for, something they have to give away to get attention. But real love doesn't work like that. Real love is something that flows freely from a place of self-respect and emotional security. It's not transactional. It's not about if you do this, I'll do that. When you detach, you stop turning love into a trade. You make it clear that love is something to be given freely. But it's gotta come from the right place and with the right energy. A detached woman knows that she doesn't need to chase because she's already everything a man needs. And let me tell you something. When you start living like that, when you start walking with that kind of inner peace and power, you'll start attracting the men who are ready to meet you at your level. You won't have to beg, you won't have to settle, and you definitely won't have to explain your worth. They'll see it from the way you move, from the way you carry yourself, and from the way you handle your life. At the end of the day, detachment teaches you how to teach a man how to love you. And that's the power every woman deserves to own. Listen, let me give you the most valuable lesson you'll ever learn. Detachment makes you irresistible because it allows you to maintain your independence and emotional balance. Men are drawn to women who are self-sufficient and self-contained. A woman who is detached isn't out here seeking validation from a man or relying on him to make her feel complete. No, she knows exactly who she is, and that confidence is magnetic. She doesn't need a man to define her, to give her value, or to give her purpose. She already has all of that. And when a man sees that, he can't help but be intrigued. He sees a woman who has everything going on for herself, a woman who is complete and whole without him. And that's what makes him want to know more, to pursue more. Detachment gives you a sense of emotional freedom that's rare. When you're not emotionally dependent on a man, you don't need him to feel good about yourself. You don't need his approval. You don't need his attention to validate your worth. You're already good. You're already whole. And that kind of emotional stability is something men can't resist. It makes you appear more grounded, more mature, more secure in who you are. It's a level of self-sufficiency that makes a man think, this is someone who's got it together. This is someone who doesn't need me, but still wants me. And that right there is a power dynamic that shifts everything in your favor. When you're detached, you stop chasing. You stop putting all your emotional eggs in one basket, and you stop letting your happiness depend on how much time a man gives you or how much affection he shows you. That's freedom. And when you're emotionally free, it allows you to move through the world with a certain ease, with a certain confidence that is completely magnetic. Men can feel that freedom. They can sense when a woman is not desperate for attention or validation. They can feel when a woman is at peace with herself, when she doesn't need anyone to complete her. And let me tell you, that's what makes a man want to invest in you. because he knows that your life is already rich, already full, and the love he has to offer will only add to it. Men want what they can't have, and when they sense a woman who's emotionally balanced, who isn't giving them all of herself right away, who isn't constantly available, it triggers something in their instincts. They start to pursue, they start to chase. But here's the key. It's not about playing games. It's not about making him work for you just to make him work. No, it's about showing him that your time, your love, your attention are valuable. And if he wants a piece of that, he has to show up in the right way. You're not just going to give away your heart without seeing if he's worthy of it first. Detachment also gives you the clarity to understand that no man should be the center of your world. Your world is yours to create. Your life is yours to build. You've got dreams, goals, friendships, and ambitions that are already in motion. A man is just an addition to that. And when you make it clear to him that you're already living your life and that he's just a part of it, not the whole thing, it changes the dynamic. He realizes that if he wants to be with you, he has to bring his best self to the table. He has to show up as a man who's ready to meet your energy, ready to add value to your already full life. At the end of the day, detachment isn't about pushing a man away. It's about setting the right foundation for a healthy, balanced relationship. It's about knowing that you are complete as you are and that you don't need anyone to validate you. You know your worth, and that's the kind of woman a man can't resist.